So it's yet again a subject that you could go into some complexity over, and you could certainly say, especially recently, it has been highlighted on many occasions. This dine and dash, people blatantly, fraudulently, um, eating at the expense of a business, and then with always the intention of leaving without paying. Businesses obviously can't afford that, and they are rightly punished when they can be found. Yeah, i.e., in some instances, they've actually gone to jail, and I don't disagree with that because it's villainy. Yeah, of course it is. Yeah, but on this particular occasion, and it was a story I remember from the last few days in the Daily Mail, where the initial story was about people dining and dashing, and now you find out, and remember, there was plenty pictures of these individuals and the demonization. But it turns out that a pub landlord has apologised after an embarrassing blunder, so innocent diners wrongly accused of a £150 dine and dash escapade. So since the error, the words, bosses at the Horse and Jockey in Tideswell have issued an apology to the maligned diners, and a member of staff has been dismissed. Now, I found this interesting. So, CCTV images of the group of two men and two women were posted online after bosses at the Boozer believed they had slipped away after guzzling steaks. Think about it. I would say initially the initial story in the Daily Mail was full of guzzling this and, blah, 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 that. But, bear with me. Guzzling steaks, real ale and lager. However, it has now emerged that in fact the group did pay the bill in full, but a member of staff forgot to ring the transaction through the till. Now, in the 80s, I have some experience of being in the pub trade at one stage or another. And, for example, my experiences in a place called Oban, I was told that, and it was a thing between managers and various trusted staff, was if new staff had gone on to a place, a pub or whatever, for example, somebody from a friendly fellow establishment would sit there sipping a few beers and watching this new member of staff, well, perform. And if it was found out that, they like to have their hands in the till or whatever, then that was rapidly, they were unemployed very quickly, but it was a thing. You'd be amazed how complex the pub industry truly is, or certainly has been in the past. And for, you could argue, successfully good reasons, yeah? I'm not saying that the individual was any of that, but when you think of the wording. So the diners ate two £27 10-ounce ribeye steaks with all the trimmings and two £15 25 Derbyshire gammon steaks, washing it all down with several real ales and lagers. Now, I would certainly recommend the real ales, and especially when they paid for all of it, well, why not? So they were condemned by the pub located in the heart of Derbyshire's Peak District National Park and online commentators for their shocking behaviour. However, Horse and Jockey manager Sam Watson said, the truth of the matter has now been revealed, and I was thinking, I'm looking forward to hearing this. He told me online, we want to sincerely apologise to the people involved because we have now learnt that they did in fact pay for their meal. This next bit. One member of staff took the group's order and a second member of staff took payment. Think about the wording. I'll repeat that. One member of staff took the group's order and a second member of staff took payment. However, he did not run the payment through the till system. But it goes on to say, it meant that it looked as though they had left without paying when they had. Yeah, I could see how that would be. Now, this next bit. There was no dishonesty involved from our staff. Think about this. It was an honest mistake, but we have dismissed this member of staff responsible for the error. Now, if it was a genuine, honest mistake, why dismiss the member of staff? Think about what they've just said here. It's the witchcraft of words. I'm not saying the individual did, but why sack the individual if it was an honest mistake? Yeah? Hey, listen, buck up your ideas and whatever, fine and dandy, but why dismiss? So, the police involved had been in touch with the pub. I've yet to speak to them, but when I do, I will apologise for our mistake. And let's face it, yeah, social media can be pretty harsh, and in many instances, for very good reason. But you could argue, successfully, they were a bit quick off the trigger on that one. But also, if you look at it more complexly, it ties into the embracement of the cashless society and beyond. Think about this, which is down to, well, remember, there's lots of movies that I have not watched in the last 20 plus years. But I think I saw at least clips of something like iRobot, and at some point during this, and remember, most movies are actually delivery vehicles, methods of a message, and one of them in iRobot, if I remember, was I think it was at Will Smith, and he's waving his hand over a table, and that way he paid, which, you know, the inference was the chip under the skin. And so you build this narrative up of it. Now, don't get me wrong, in many ways, I would certainly, as an individual, when I went into a place, I'd rather pay for what I bought there and then. Yeah? That way, I don't feel that I'm watching staff creeping about with a doubt or two based on, well, poor judgment. But, yeah, I could get that. And I think most people, by and large, would be comfortable with that. Now, the negative of that is, well, what if it's a shite meal? Blah, blah, blah. Well, take more interest in where you're going to eat. And by the way, I would add to that, one of the main reasons I don't go out my way to eat out much is when you look at the detail, what they fry things in. You'd be amazed at how many eateries fry things in genetically modified soybean oil. Now, if you want to be willfully ignorant about that and yet you're successful, well, knock yourselves out. But I'm not going to engage with that. Yeah, and they're really clued up. Go to places if and when they can afford, where you don't have to have that as a doubt. Most people really don't give a shit about their health. I keep saying this. Your health is your responsibility. Your willful ignorance of stuffing yourself in so many ways and eating things you have zero comprehension, many. And I'm not saying to people who watch my channel, but for the public generally, this willful ignorance that the NHS is there for them as opposed to taking care of their own health is astounding. Yep, I'm off at tangents, but anyway, your thoughts, your views, your comments, your shares, and I'll speak to you soon.